This story is true. Every event portrayed here is documented by Ibsen's letters, Emilie Bardach's diary, and first-hand contemporary accounts.
Early next month, we are departing for the Tyrol to spend the remainder of the summer there. We shall probably be choosing Gossensass, where we have so often been before. We cannot come back to Munich before the beginning of October, as our apartment is being renovated. We have therefore made arrangements to stay here until the autumn cold compels us to leave.
The weather has been very bad, and we cannot make any excursions. The day of the Ibsen fete has been the only fine one, but I washed my hair and could not go. After the concert, however, I made his acquaintance in a way quite delightful.
What's your name?
Emilie.
Emilie what?
Emilie Bardach.
Where do you come from?
Vienna.
Haven't I seen you in the dining room? Are you staying in the hotel?
No, we've got rooms opposite. I can look into your windows.
At the age of 16, Ibsen had fathered an illegitimate child onto a servant maid, 10 years his senior, and throughout the years of his early struggles he had had to pay for the boy's maintenance. His own father had gone bankrupt when he was 7. His early plays had been laughed and hissed off the stage. He was frequently penniless and forced to resort to moneylenders. I was excommunicated. Everyone was against me, he wrote. He was a failure till he was nearly 40. Ugly, undersized and abnormally shy, he had come to accept that the sensual joys of life were not for him, and that he was one of those people for whom love exists only in the imagination. Though he had also noted in his youth that whatever a man turns his back on gets him in the end.
Master Builder?
Yes.
Have you a bad memory?
A bad memory? Not that I'm aware of.
You took me in your arms and kissed me, Master Builder.
I did?
Yes, you did. You took me in both your arms and bent me backwards and kissed me.
No.
Many, many times.
No, but my dear good Miss Wangel...
You're not going to deny it.
I certainly am.
Oh, I see.
Oh, don't stand there like a statue. All this that you have told me must have been something you have dreamed. Oh, listen. Oh, wait a moment. I must have thought all this. I must have wanted it, wished it, desired it so that... Couldn't that be an explanation? Oh, damn it. Have it your own way. Say I did it.
Do you confess?
Yes, anything you say.
That you put your arms around me?
Yes, yes, I did.
And bent me over backwards?
Yes, right back.
And kissed me?
Yes, I kissed you.
Many times?
Yes, as many times as you want.
You see? I wormed it out of you in the end.
Emily? Emily! Is that you there? Emily, where have you been? And who is that with you? Herr Ibsen. I beg your pardon. I hope my daughter has not been disturbing you.
Disturbing me? By no means.
You see, my wife noticed she wasn't dancing, and she was a little bit worried in case, perhaps. But naturally, since she's with you, I trust she has not been asking too many questions.
We were admiring the moonlight together.
And the roses.
Pray, do not let me interrupt you. Emily, such an honor.
Actually, Fräulein Bardach was about to go back to the dance.
Years earlier, when he was 25, Ibsen had fallen in love with a 15-year-old girl named Ricky Holst. One day, he proposed marriage to her. But her father forbade her to continue seeing the poor poet. They disobeyed him and entered into a symbolic marriage by joining their rings together on a key ring and casting them into the sea. Thus, they would be bound eternally to each other. They used her 5-year-old brother as chaperone. Many years later, he told me how he remembered a raised arm with a clenched fist in an avenue of trees. It was her father, green with anger. And Ibsen ran away. Then her love cooled. 30 years later, when they were both married, she came to visit him. The old warmth rose again in him, and he asked wonderingly, why didn't it ever come to anything between us? She laughed gaily as in the old days. But, my dear Ibsen, don't you remember? You ran away. Yes, yes, he replied sheepishly. I never was a brave man face to face.
Do you always wear pearls? Even in bed?
Yes, always.
Isn't it strange? The more I think about it now, the more it seems as though for years I've been torturing myself trying to remember something. Something that had happened to me and that I must have forgotten. And I could never discover what it was.
You ought to have tied a knot in your handkerchief, Master Builder.
I'd only have gone round wondering what the knot stood for.
Oh, well. I suppose it takes trolls like you to make a world.
I'm glad that you have come to me just at this time.
Are you glad?
Yes. I've been so alone. Staring at it all so helpless. You see, I've begun to be so afraid, so terribly afraid of youth.
Of youth? Is youth something to be afraid of?
Oh, yes, it is. That's why I've shut myself up here. Someday, youth will come and thunder on my door and force its way into me.
Then I think you ought to go out and open the door.
Open the door?
Yes. And let youth in. As a friend.
No. No. Youth means retribution. It marches at the head of a rebel army under a new banner.
Can you use me, Master Builder?
When Emilie Bardach saw a performance of The Master Builder for the first time, 19 years later, she said, "I didn't see myself, but I saw him. There is something of me in Hilde, but in Solness there is little that is not Ibsen." The Master Builder's ruthlessness, his readiness to sacrifice the happiness of those nearest to him for the sake of his ambition, and his longing for and fear of youth, all these were Ibsen's too.
Ibsen has begun to talk to me quite seriously about myself. It's a pity that German gives him so much difficulty, as apart from that we understand each other so well. He stayed a long time with me on Saturday, and again this evening.
What are you reading? Love's Comedy by Henrik Ibsen.
It all came to me so suddenly. I noticed for the first time how he began to change his regular ways of life, but I didn't know what it meant. He begs me so intensely to talk freely with him, to be absolutely frank with him. Ought I to be ashamed of my frankness? Our being together cannot but have some painful influence over me. He puts such strong feeling into what he says to me. His words often give me a sensation of terror and cold.
There are so many invisible demons, Hilda. Good demons and evil demons, fair demons and dark. If only one always knew whether the fair had hold of one, it would all be so simple.
Oh, if only one had a really brash and hearty conscience, so that one dared do what one wanted.
No, I think most people are as cowardly as I in that respect. The sagas tell about Vikings who sailed to foreign lands and plundered and burned and killed.
And carried off women.
Oh, and kept them.
And took them home with them in their ships.
Yes, and used them like the worst kind of trolls.
I think that must be so exciting.
To take a woman, you mean?
To be taken.
I see.
I can find the women frightfully easy to understand.
Perhaps you could do the same?
Why not?
Live? Willingly? With a brute like that?
It was a brute that I'd come to grow really fond of.
Could you grow fond of a man like that?
Oh, God, one can't help whom one grows fond of, can one?
No, I suppose it is the troll in us that decides that.
And all those blessed demons you know so much about. The fair and the dark.
Mm-hmm. I hope the demons will choose kindly for you, Hilda.
They've chosen for me, once and for all.
Hilda, you are like a new dawn. When I see you, it is as though I were watching the sunrise.
Tell me, Master Builder, are you sure you've never called to me, silently?
I think I must have done.
What do you want from me?
Your youth, Hilda.
Youth, which you're so frightened of.
And which, in my heart, I long for.
Yesterday afternoon we were together at last. Oh, the words! If only they could have stamped themselves on my heart more deeply and distinctly. All that has been offered me before was only the pretense at love. This is the true love, the ideal, he says, to which without knowing it he gave himself in his art. At last he is a true poet, through pain and renunciation. And yet he's glad of having known me, the most beautiful, the wonderful. Too late. How small I seem to myself that I cannot spring to him. He talks about the most serious things in life and believes in me so much. He expects from me much, much, much more than I'm afraid he will ever find. Never in his whole life, he says, has he felt so much joy in knowing anyone. He never admired anyone as he admires me. Mamma has just gone out, so that I have the room to myself. At last I'm free to put down the incredible things of these recent days. How poor and insufficient are the words. Tears say these things better. Passion has come and it cannot lead to anything, when both of us are bound by so many ties. Eternal obstacles. Are they in my will, or are they in the circumstances? How could I compare anything else that has happened to an outpouring like this? I could never go so far, and yet. Last night, Baronet said he loved me. But how much calmer he was. How inarticulate, beside this volcano, so terribly beautiful. Oh, high and painful joy, to struggle for the unattainable. And I have nothing to give him, not even my picture, when he is giving me so much. But we both feel it is best, outwardly, to remain as strangers. Nearly everyone is gone. The days we have still to spend can now be counted. I do think about the future. The present is too much. When he talks to me as he does, I often feel I must go far away from here. Far away. And yet I suffer at the thought of leaving him. I suffer most from his impatience, his restlessness. I begin to feel it now, even when we're in the salon quite apart from each other. His wife shows me much attention. Obstacles. How they grow more numerous the more I think of them. The difference of age, his wife, his son, all there is to keep us apart. Did this have to happen? Could I have foreseen it? Could I have prevented it? Our last day at Gossensass. Then nothing but memory will remain. 2 weeks ago, memory seemed to Ibsen so beautiful. And now, he says that tomorrow he will stand on the ruins of his happiness. These last 2 months are more important in his life than anything that has gone before. Am I unnatural in being so terribly quiet and normal? He talked about his plans. I alone am in them. I and I again. I feel quieter because he is quieter, though yesterday he was terrible. What am I to think? He says it is to be my life's aim to work with him. We are to write to each other often. But what am I to write?
Emilie.
He means to possess me. That is his absolute will. He intends to overcome all obstacles. I do what I can to keep him from feeling this. And yet, I listen as he describes what is to lie before us. Going from one country to another, I with him, enjoying his triumphs together. Our parting was easier than I had feared.
With my whole heart I thank you, my beloved Fräulein, for the dear and delightful letter which I received on the last day of my stay at Gossensass, and have read over and over again. There the last autumn day was a very sad one, or it was so to me. No more sunshine, everything gone. I went to walk in the Flerstall. There is a bench where two can commune together. But the bench was empty, and I went by without sitting down. A new poem begins to dawn in me. I want to work on it this winter, transmuting into it the glowing inspiration of the summer. But the end may be disappointment. I feel it. It is my way.
Today at last came Ibsen's long-expected letter. He wants me to read between the lines, but do not the lines themselves say enough?
My imagination is ragingly alive, but is always straying to where in working hours it should not. I cannot keep down the memories of the summer. Nor do I want to. The things we have lived through, I live again and again and still again.
Why does he not tell me of something to read which would feed my mind, instead of writing in a way to inflame my already excited imagination? Oh, the terror and beauty of having him care about me, as he never cared about anyone else. I shall answer very soberly. Don't be uneasy, because just now I cannot work. In the back of my mind, I'm working all the time. I'm dreaming over something which, when it has ripened, will become a poem. I'm being disturbed. Cannot write more.
Come in.
I believe that if Mother had not compelled Father to sit down at his desk every morning, half of his work might never have been written. No doubt there was some truth in the story that there were times when he revolted against her strong will and wished himself far away so that he could completely submerge himself in his daydreams. But if he had lost her for good, he would have been inconsolable. If she had withdrawn her will, he would have been lost indeed. He was the genius. She was the character. His character, and well he knew it. He would hardly have admitted it except towards the end. She knew it all the time. Therefore, she was unconcerned about other people's opinions and the criticisms of friends and acquaintances. She knew what fate had entrusted to her care. She well knew that ultimately her will was his will.
I am greatly preoccupied with preparations for my new work. Go out only towards evening. I dream and remember and create. To create is beautiful. But reality can now and then be still more beautiful. I read your letter over and over, for through it the voice of the summer awakens so clearly. I see, I experience again the things we have lived together. As a lovely creature of summer, dear princess, I've known you, as a being of the season of butterflies and wild flowers. How I should like to see you as you are in winter. I see you, light, quick, poised like a bird, gracious in velvet and furs. In soirees, in society, I also see you, and at the theater, leaning back, a tired look in your mysterious eyes. Your lovely and charming picture, so eloquently like you, has given me indescribable joy. I thank you for it 1,000 times, and straight from my heart. How vividly your dear serene features remain with me in my memory. In my imagination, I always see you wearing the pearls you love so much. In this taste for pearls, I see something deeper, something hidden. I often think of it. Sometimes I think I've found the interpretation, and again, not.
I've some photographs I'd like to show you if you'd care to see them. Testman and I visited the Tyrol on our way home. You see these mountains, Mr. Lovborg? That's the Ortler Group. George has written the name underneath. You see the Ortler Group near Moran.
Hedda.
Shh.
Hedda.
Yes, that used to be my name when we two first met.
And from now on, for the rest of my life, I must learn never to call you Hedda Gabler.
Yes, you must. You'd better start getting into practice. The sooner the better.
Hedda Gabler married. And to George Tesman.
Yes, well, that's life.
Oh, Hedda, how could you throw yourself away like that?
Stop it.
What do you mean?
And this is the view from the Ampezzo Valley, Mr. Lovborg. Look at those mountains. What was that little village called, George?
Oh, let me think. That's Gossensass on the Brenner Pass. We stayed there, remember?
Yes, and we met all those amusing people.
Yes, it was there, wasn't it? By Jove, if only we could have had you there with us, Eilert. Ah, well.
The characters in Hedda Gabler are, as usual, aspects of Ibsen's own self in disguise. This play, like the others, springs from a particular predicament in his life. In this case, the aging poet's preoccupation with a certain young lady, Emilie Bardach. Once more, life had come knocking, and again he was unable to unlock the door. It was the poet's and the dreamer's answer to life. He could not seize hold of it. The experience was only to be used as material for drama. Such was his fate. Hedda represents his repressed and crippled emotional life. She has, in fact, many of Ibsen's characteristics: his fear of scandal, his inability to act out his desires, his obsession with remaining on formal terms, even with the people closest to him. But if Hedda is, in fact, a self-portrait, it is certainly an unconscious one.
Tell me one thing, Hedda.
Yes?
Didn't you love me either? Not just a little.
Well, now I wonder. No, I don't think so. I think we were just good chums, really good chums who could tell each other anything. You certainly poured your heart out to me.
You begged me to.
Looking back on it, I suppose there was something beautiful and fascinating and brave about the way we could tell each other everything. That secret friendship that no one knew about.
Oh, yes, Hedda. Yes, do you remember? How I used to come to your father's house in the afternoon. The General sat in the window and read his newspapers with his back towards us.
And we sat on the sofa in the corner.
Always reading the same illustrated magazine.
We didn't have a photograph album.
Yes, Hedda. I regarded you as a kind of confessor. I told you things about myself that no one else knew about then. Those days and nights of drinking. Hedda, what power did you have to make me confess such things?
Power? You think I had some power over you?
Yes, I don't know how else to explain it. All those oblique questions you asked me.
Oh, you knew what they meant.
Yes, but that you could ask me such questions and so unashamedly.
I thought you said they were oblique.
Yes, but you asked them so unashamedly that you could question me about that kind of thing.
You answered willingly enough.
Yes, that's what I can't understand, looking back on it. Hedda, tell me, what you felt for me, wasn't that love? When you asked me those questions and made me confess my sins to you, wasn't it because you wanted to wash me clean?
No, not exactly.
Why did you do it then?
Does it seem so incredible to you that a young girl, given the chance to do so without anyone knowing, should want to be allowed a glimpse into a forbidden world of whose existence she was supposed to be ignorant?
So that was it.
One reason. One reason, I think.
You didn't love me then. You just wanted knowledge. But if that was so, why did you break it off?
That was your fault.
It was you who brought it to an end?
Yes. When I realized that our friendship was developing into something else. Oh, shame on you, Isle of Lerborg, that you could abuse so the trust of your dearest friend.
Why didn't you do it then? Why didn't you shoot me dead as you threatened to?
I was afraid of a scandal.
Yes, Hedda. You're a coward at heart.
A dreadful coward. Luckily for you. Well, now you've found consolation with the Elfsteads.
Oh, I know what Taya's been telling you.
I dare say you've told her all about us.
Not a word. She's too silly to understand that kind of thing.
Silly?
Silly about that kind of thing.
And I'm a coward. But let me tell you something. Something you don't know.
Yes?
My failure to shoot you was not my worst act of cowardice that evening.
Oh, Hedda. Hedda Gabler. Now I see what was behind those questions. It wasn't knowledge you wanted. It was life.
Oh, take care. Don't you delude yourself.
Long, very long have I left your last dear letter, read and read again, without an answer. Take today my heartfelt thanks for it, though given in very few words. Henceforth, till we see each other face to face, you will hear little from me, and very seldom. Believe me, it is better so.
It's a matter of conscience with me to end our correspondence. You have other aims to follow, other tasks to fulfill. And I can never be content with a mere exchange of letters. It's a false situation. Not to give myself wholly makes me unhappy. It is my nature. I cannot change it. You are so subtle, so penetrating, you will easily see what I mean. Please forgive me for writing again so soon. All these days I had been intending to write to you, for it is part of my nature to feel anxious about persons to whom I am deeply attached, if I do not hear from them for a longish time. Possibly this is a petty characteristic, but it is impossible to control one's feelings. All the same, I mean to control mine. I certainly do not wish you to write to me frequently, and since you wish it, I shall also refrain. What I have so often told you remains unaltered, and I can never forget it. Forgive me for drawing you into the conflict in which I am involved with my destiny. That's ungrateful of me, seeing that you have so often said to me that whatever happens, we shall remain good friends, and that I must hold fast to that. And can friendship bear not to know if the other is ill or well, happy or wretched? And then can I prevent the thought coming to me that you want to avoid further meetings with me? And anyhow, if you do not write, how am I to know where we can find each other again? Well, I'll be very, very patient. I can wait. I will try to understand all other reasons that may prevent you from writing. And certainly I don't want you to act against your feelings. What a multitude of things there are to write about. But you do not wish me to write, even though I should not expect an answer. have an invitation from friends to go to a ball tonight. You know I never go to public entertainments. When I am there, I shall permit myself to think a little about you, because I often find parties like these extremely uninspiring, unless I can rely on some inner nourishment. Anyhow, I mean to go if I can. With love, Emily.
Even before he had broken off the correspondence with Emily, Ibsen had started taking walks in Munich with a young painter named Helene Raff. On his return to Norway the following year, he began a similar friendship with a pianist, Hildur Andersen, and later with a young Swedish girl, Rosa Fittinghoff. These were what he called his Kunstnerveninde, artistic friendships, and they seem, unlike Emily, to have made no great emotional demands on him.
Fräulein Raff writes me in a letter of December 8, 1927, Ibsen's relations with young girls had in them nothing whatever of infidelity in the usual sense of the term, but arose solely out of the needs of his imagination. As he himself said, he sought out youth because he needed it for his poetic production.
Miss Emilie Bardach told me in conversation that in the course of the summer in Gossensass, 1889, Ibsen had spoken to her of the possibility of a divorce and of a subsequent union with her, in the course of which they were to travel widely and see the world.
I can solemnly declare, my dear Susanna, that I have never seriously thought or intended anything of the sort, and that I never shall think or intend it.
I must admit, however, that because of the needs of the aging man who yearns for youth, he at times struck a too devoted tone face to face with young women, and that his wife was offended because she thought such things not in conformity with his dignity. For this reason, she assumed at times a harsh attitude towards such matters.
What is my inner life after Ibsen's letter? Henceforth, I will be silent, silent. Will he never write any more? I cannot think about it. Who could? And yet not to do so is in his very nature. In his very kindness there is often cruelty.
One day in February 1891, I was lunching with Ibsen in Berlin while he was waiting for a train. An expansive mood came over him, and chuckling over his champagne glass, he said,
You know, my next play is already hovering before me. In general outline, of course.
Are we allowed to know what it's about?
I don't see it clearly yet. Only the outline. And the chief character.
Who is he?
It's a girl. A young girl I once met.
Tell us about her.
Was she someone we know?
No, Julius. She's a Viennese girl. I met her in the Tyrol about a year ago. A remarkable character. She made me her confidant. She told me she wasn't interested in the idea of getting married. Said most likely she'd never marry. What attracted her was to lure other women's husbands away from them.
She sounds a little demon.
Oh, she was like a bird of prey.
And did she try to include you among her victims?
Yes. But she did not get hold of me. I got hold of her for my play.
That must have broken her heart.
I expect she managed to console herself with someone else.
Ibsen's version of Emily's character, or Julius Elias's report of it, was generally accepted, and Emilie Bardach went down to history while she was still a young woman as a predatory little monster, more or less identical with Hilde Wangel. His last play before his visit to Gossensass, The Lady from the Sea, had surprised his contemporaries by the apparent optimism of its ending. After so many tragedies, one critic wrote, this is a comedy. But none of his 5 subsequent plays, Hedda Gabler, The Master Builder, Little Eyolf, John Gabriel Borkman, and When We Dead Awaken, could by any possible stretch of the imagination be described as comedies. Their mood is one of restrained and balked individuality. He who had suppressed his emotional life for so long now had the opportunities to fulfill it, but was unable to take advantage of them. As a result of his meeting with Emilie Bardach, a new glory, but also a new darkness, entered into his work.
Listen how I have portrayed myself. In the foreground, beside a spring, there sits a man weighed down by guilt. I call him remorse. Remorse for a forfeited life. He sits there, dipping his fingers in the rippling water to wash them clean. And he is gnawed and tormented by the knowledge that he will never, never succeed. He will never, in all eternity, free himself and be granted resurrection. He must stay forever in his hell.
For 7 years, there was no contact between them. Then, on his 70th birthday, an occasion of great celebration, for he was with Tolstoy, the most famous writer in the world, she sent him a telegram of congratulation. His letter of reply was the last message that passed between them.
Herzlich liebes Fräulein, accept my most deeply felt thanks for your message. The summer in Gossensass was the happiest, the most beautiful in my whole life. I scarcely dare to think of it, and yet I must think of it. Always. Always.
Emilie Bardach died a spinster in Bern on November 1st, 1955.